Okay, are we alright? I think we're okay. Sorry, I had to double check my output bit rate there because I was already dropping frames, which is not something I like to do. Okay. Alright. Oh, yeah, I don't know why my upload speed isn't very good right now. But hopefully it's good enough because, yeah, this is kind of a weird one. Long story short, I was thinking about streaming earlier today, like during human hours when people are awake and doing things. And I didn't end up doing it. I had some work going on, other stuff. Didn't quite have the energy. But yeah, something's been coming up lately where I just can't manage to get on a standard sleep schedule, or something always comes up, or I'm in a weird thing where I'm kind of taking it easy in the afternoons. So by the time it rolls around to the evening, I'm like, okay, I'm re-energized. I'm going to drink some coffee. I'm going to get some more stuff done. That's often when I do plenty of video work, editing, recording, whatever. So, in other words, there are plenty of times where I just have way too much energy by the time I'm actually supposed to be going to sleep. And this is the result, is that I just can't force myself to fall asleep. I'm not big into like sleeping pills or anything like that. So I just stay up for a little while, potentially trying to get other stuff done in the meantime. And yeah, and then eventually I just become exhausted, and that's when I can finally fall asleep. And this evening, yeah, I don't know. Tried to get to sleep at a reasonable hour. I have to be up relatively early, and it wasn't working at all. It was just, the worst stuff you can get, where it's just like, okay, here's every anxiety you have. Here's every major issue that you have to deal with in your life right now. Let's think about all of that. Let's think about like the worst stuff, the worst aspects of your life situation. For example, people driving performance cars loudly in the middle of the night because it's LA, so it's just kind of a thing. Anyway, so got the strange idea to maybe do a stream. The live aspect probably won't be too prominent here because basically everyone in the US is asleep or should be asleep at this time. And I think anybody in Europe right now would probably basically just be waking up, and on a Friday probably working. So I'm not expecting this to be a super interactive thing. It's kind of just a way to make a really weird low-key video in the middle of the night. But yeah, it was kind of funny because I was, I couldn't sleep. I was like, okay, would it be crazy to try to do a stream? And I think the answer that I gave myself just about every time was yes. Like, that's kind of a crazy idea. That's kind of a stupid idea. What would be the point of that? And even while I was setting it up, I was like getting the microphone out. I was like, yeah, this is a stupid idea. I don't have the energy for it. This isn't going to work at all. But something compelled me. Something just gave me the impression that it would at least be sort of interesting just to see how it turns out. Not so much on the technical side of things. Nothing all that different about streaming in the middle of the night at the end of the day. The internet connection is pretty much the same. I was hoping it would be slightly better. But outside of that, I think I also just tend to be in a different state of mind at night, especially late into the night. Maybe other people can relate to this as well on some level, but just this feeling of, I don't know, it's not necessarily a feeling of security that I might feel when it's dark out and it's generally quiet and everything. Yeah, I just don't think that's quite accurate. but instead it is a feeling of, I don't know, relative freedom and comfort. There is a coziness factor, of course, to nighttime scenarios, even like this wonderful one we have here in the background, animated by some of the best in the biz. This is just a YouTube video, by the way. It's one of those like sleep videos. And I used to watch this all the time when I was working a different bad job from the one that I have now. And I used to work super early in the morning. If you've been around a while, you might have heard me mention this particular job in the past. All kinds of stories from that one, but specifically relevant to this whole thing, I would work really early in the morning. So there was always pressure to get to sleep early, like 10 p.m. was coming up on pretty late to fall asleep because I had to be up by like 4 o'clock, 4:30 a.m. to get into work by 5. And it being not a very good job whenever I got in and actually started working, I would try to just, I don't know, I guess engage with some kind of, it's not comfort media necessarily, but I tried to establish like a buffer of media that would be in the background while I was working. And one of the things I would do is turn on some of these like sleep videos, relaxation videos, whatever we call them, which is a whole genre in itself on YouTube. And for some reason, this one in particular, which is billed as like, I don't know, rain on 10 sounds, 10 hours, blah, 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 blah. Over 15 million views, I think, so it's doing just fine. But I really enjoy when some of these also take the effort to have some kind of animation, you know what I mean? To have some level of like a visual, not just the black screen in the background the whole time. And this is not bad. It's not very high quality animation, like the simulated raindrops on this like decking or whatever it is outside the tent don't look very good. The rain itself doesn't look very good. But you still get the sense of it. You still get the comfort angle, you know, from these kinds of scenes. So that was my go-to when I was working, was just throw on some of this stuff and try to distract myself from the fact that I was just getting started. It was like an 8.5-hour shift of a job I really didn't like. So that was a tactic of mine for a while. It's not something I've done lately a whole lot. I don't think so, anyway. And wow, there's someone in the chat, Samuel Kim. Welcome back. It's very nice to have you back here on the stream. Yeah, I've already gone on for quite a while about the weirdness of streaming at this time of night, but I'll just assume we've all kind of accepted that at this point. And Samuel Kim says, it's my birthday. Happy birthday. Congratulations. I won't ask age or anything because I guess that seems kind of personal, but did it just become your birthday, like right now, after midnight? Or are you wrapping up the birthday from Thursday? But Samuel Kim also says, saw Thor yesterday. Real good time. Gonna see it again today. I'm happy to hear that. I have not seen it. I haven't seen anything in the theater for quite a while. So I can't really, comment on that at all. But just hearing that it's a good time, just kind of a romp in general, that seems like pretty good news to me, because I don't think I had many high hopes beyond that. Like, it just needs to be a fun movie. I think the marketing has supported that as well. Just like, oh, it's just fun. Just a fun movie. That's okay. But yeah, I don't know. It seems to be performing really well and everything. But yeah, I haven't been super invested in the more, in any of the Marvel stuff really. But especially lately, I just haven't been keeping up very much. I let the rest of the internet do that, I guess. 17, yeah, midnight. Okay, July 8th. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so fresh into the birthday. Well, I hope you have some fun plans. I guess, yeah, you're going to see the movie again today. That'll be fun, maybe with some friends or something. That sounds like a good time. Yeah, what do I usually do for? I don't usually do too much for birthdays, honestly. I don't really. I'm not the kind of person to like broadcast it. I think most of the time, it's just a day that comes up once a year, and then it kind of passes by. Um, but growing up, I really liked the birthdays and stuff, and my family was pretty big into birthdays and everything, and that was usually a good time. Um, but yeah, not for a while now have I really paid much attention to it at all. Um, but it's great. I'm really glad when people do special things for the birthday, and it gives them a chance to catch up with folks, especially as you become an adult. I think that's something that's like, I don't know, it's more of an opportunity there, where any event possible, whether it's a holiday, a birthday, something you just kind of come up with on your own. It's like I don't know, it fuels the effort and motivation to actually go out and see people, because otherwise it can get very tricky with differing schedules and everything just to hang out with folks, whereas it tends to be a lot easier to do that when you're like a kid or you're in school or college or whatever. So as an adult, I'd take pretty much any excuse I can get to make the effort and see people, spend time with people, where it doesn't feel like a chore or anything. You can just kind of hang out and relax. Anyway, Samuel Kim said, "Can't sleep like Tyler Durden." Yeah, is it Durden? Durham? I didn't really grow up with that movie. I kind of came to it later on. Never read the book or anything, actually. But yeah, that was a pretty big part of that, huh? I guess no spoilers, but yeah, that whole insomnia angle was pretty important to Fight Club. The twists and turns and such. Oh man, I should have gotten more water ready before I started this. And this says I'm turning 17. It's kind of crazy. Legal in one more year. Any advice? Wow, that's a tough question. I mean, I don't want to give the advice that everybody I gives, which is usually like, oh, really, really start to work on like who you are, what you want to do with your life, and career paths and stuff, college stuff. A lot of people end up going to college even if they don't quite know what they want to do yet. But I never really found that advice particularly stimulating. I don't know if I ever really took that kind of stuff to heart myself. But yeah, honestly, I mean, it should just be a fun time. Like, as long as you're being good to the people in your life, it's totally okay to just kind of enjoy it. It's fun being a teenager, especially an older teenager, because then you actually have some confidence going and more freedom, maybe a driver's license and all that. So there's a lot more you can do with your time. Maybe more of a social creature in your late teens and that. But yeah, there's a lot to enjoy, even just in terms of like eating whatever you want. Go ahead and just eat a bunch of junk food, not too much, not insane amounts. Don't go crazy, but yeah, it's totally a real thing of just like being younger. Eat whatever. There's kind of no impact relative to doing the same thing when you're 10, 15, 20 years older, and it's like, oh boy, you really pay for all of those decisions down the line. But yeah, enjoying it and just taking note of what you enjoy. You know what I mean? Understanding what you like to do, how you like to spend your time, who you like to spend your time with. That might change over several years, but even just for the moment, understanding that about yourself, I think, can be really valuable, So, yeah, I don't know. But I don't really think of giving people advice very often, so it's not something that I just have queued up in my head or anything like that. Let's see here. Get rid of this. Cool. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Samuel Kim also says, "You got any questions for me?" Oh gosh, I don't know. I'd really have to scratch my brain for some of this stuff. I don't know. Got a driver's license yet? Or you gotten into driving at all? Should I spend your time? I guess I can ask if you have any other thoughts on the Thor movie, especially in relation to the last big Thor movie, or just the more recent Marvel stuff in general. If you want to share some thoughts on that, that'd be neat. Or any specific stories of like past birthday celebrations, activities, and events that were especially memorable. That'd be kind of fun, right? Yeah. I wonder what else I'll be doing on the stream though. I could plug in the iPad, do some drawing. I could run some games and stuff, but then I'm immediately worried about the audio that I would be injecting into the stream. And I don't want this to be a crazy stream with wild audio the whole time. Who knows? Maybe the archive version of this could even become like one of those sleep podcast things. I just drone on about something, and maybe that'll put someone else to sleep. But what I'm gonna do right now, in the next like 20 to 30 seconds, is fill up my water bottle real quick. So I am going to step away for just a second. I'll mute the mic and drop my camera, but enjoy the quiet, calm sounds, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. We're back. We've got the water. Really been enjoying water lately. That's been a good time. Half-A says I just woke up. Lol. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've had you here on the stream, so I'm very glad that the schedule's kind of matched up. There's my face cam. There we go. Cool. Cool. All right. More cars. Who's driving? Who's driving around right now? What's going on? Someone says, I loved it except for one joke. Thor. Okay, I loved it except for one joke, which is horrible. Something related to dumplings. And the villain's arc towards the end. The villain has a very complex and interesting story. Used to read the comics in grade 6, like the actual Marvel comic stuff. Okay, interesting. That is okay, that's some good commentary on the movie, though. Yeah, like I said, I probably won't be seeing it in theaters. I wouldn't mind seeing it in general. I really enjoyed Ragnarok. I've had a great time with that movie, like so many other people did. Although I am getting really tired of 80s references and 80s driven nostalgia stuff. Real tired of that at this point. Anyway, do you have any knowledge of the villain Gore? The god butcher basically had a tragic life, and when he found out the gods are selfish, he wants to kill all gods. No, I don't think I've heard of that specific mythos. I'm assuming it's based on ancient mythology and then was maybe later adapted with comic book stuff like Thor himself, right? At least that's the impression I get from it. And no, I don't think so. I've maybe heard the name once or twice before in other like discussions on similar topics, I guess. But not much more than that. Although that concept, I guess, is somewhat common, I guess we could say, of like rebellion against gods in various mythologies, or like we can even argue that The Boys is like a modern spin on that, specifically in reference to superheroes as gods how can someone who's not at that level necessarily kind of respond, rebel, etc. Even in the Christian mythos, we have Lucifer, right? The fall, kind of fills a similar role, I think. Although that character is certainly not portrayed in a positive light. It's supposed to be like a negative role model. Is that a thing? Like the opposite of a role model, showing you what not to do? Anyway. Samuel Kim says, I liked Russell Crowe as Zeus. Oh, he plays Zeus here? Okay, he was really funny. Might not be everybody's cup of tea. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the case for Russell Crowe in general, I would say, especially at this point, where he's obviously still a very big star, still very popular, tons of, name recognition, whatever, but he's not at the level he was, 10, 12 years ago, where he was like big, mega movie star. And even at the time, I think we were getting somewhat similar responses of some people just going, oh yeah, he's great, like he really works in these like strongman kind of roles, and just like he's the hero archetype kind of guy, and he works through that kind of stuff. And at the same time, we had people going, kind of feels one note, doesn't feel like he has all that much range, blah blah blah. So yeah, there's yeah, but I don't think I've seen him in anything for quite a while, so yeah. Lucifer wanted to be like God. That's when God kicked him out, I guess. I lose track of the story. And is it actually in the New Testament? I guess it wouldn't be Revelations, right? I don't really read the Bible all that often, but there's mythologies that aren't actually from scripture, but they've sort of come to be understood as if they were originally from scripture. Sorry, this is a whole other thing. Maybe it's Paradise Lost, where that character was sort of solidified as like a positive anti-hero kind of figure in a lot of ways. Anyway, Shady says, oh wow, 9:30 a.m. stream. Gotta leave for work soon though. That's okay. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I mean, see, yeah, it's a really awkward time for pretty much every live stream, because every live stream, it's an awkward time for every time zone, right? I think most of the U.S. North America is asleep, and the European folks are like working jobs. So honestly, I wasn't expecting anybody to turn up, so I was just kind of set on talking to myself. Samuel Kim says Korg is gay, by the way. Who's Korg? I don't know who Korg is. Is that the same person as Gore, who we were just talking about earlier, but spelled differently? I don't know. Samuel Kim says. Oh, Korg is the rocket. Yeah, played by Taika. Yeah. Okay. I guess I never saw the name written out, but sure, why not? Make the character gay, sure. Whatever. Who's your fave actor? By the way, for me, it's 4:30 a.m. Okay, so you're closer to like Eastern time zone, I guess. Yeah. Favorite actor? Wow, I don't know, but I guess that's another thing that I don't really dwell on too much. Generally, I think. In particular, like trying to choose, one actor above the rest who I really think is super great. But I can say in the past, I've definitely singled out people like Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was always a big fan of his stuff. Well, I shouldn't say always, but after I started getting into movies around college age, I guess, really dug into a lot of his stuff. And yeah, talk about someone with range, even though he did end up playing a lot of roles. that kind of fell into similar categories. Um, yeah, just his general presence and technical sides of what he was able to pull off with those performances. I was always really impressed by that, and I was definitely pretty upset to hear about um, his death, what many would consider to be like a premature death, you know. Um, so there's that. He's definitely an actor I admire quite a bit. In terms of like big famous movie stars, I don't know. I'd really have to sit down and look at a list or something. I don't. Yeah, I don't know too many of those off the top of my head. Need to clean this keyboard. It's all gunked up. Core species are all men. Oh, okay. Kind of like the species in Enemy Mine. Did you ever see that movie? There's like different. They reproduce asexually, I think, or something. So they're agender, basically. They're non-binary, I guess we could say. And that movie was from like what, the 80s? Football Lover says, greetings from Milano. Hey, there's some Europe action going on. Go get a biscotti, biscuits, or whatever they have there. Shade says, oh yeah, wasn't he a Mary Max? Phil Hoff? Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was actually some pretty decent voice acting from him. I don't know if he did a ton of voiceover work. Off the top of my head, I can't think of too many roles there. Mostly live action stuff, I guess. But he was pretty good there. It was kind of an understated performance, portraying a character with Asperger's. I'm sure there was plenty of research and all that. But yeah, I think he pulled it off pretty darn well. At least from my perspective. But yeah, that was good. Yeah, Mary Max is excellent. Yeah. That's one that I should probably rewatch soon. So okay, I missed the Korg discussion, but love him and his pamphlets. I don't know what the pamphlets are. I was just reminded of who he is as a character at all, so I guess I'm behind on my lore and everything, you know. Now I'm going to narrate what's going on outside the window. So there's this white car, kind of ugly, trying to dress up. Also, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to assume it's like a BMW 328i. That's what I'm going to say. So like entry-level luxury performance. White is a terrible color for a car. But anyway, right when I started the stream, there was a woman who was hopped out of the car and was like pacing frantically and on the phone and seemed to be having a very serious conversation. She was sitting on the curb for a while, which is usually something that the homeless people do around here, and then she went away and some dude showed up. Maybe it's his car, I don't know. Some dude showed up, hopped in the car, started blasting some music, and drove away very quickly. I don't know. I'm just getting bits and pieces of the story here. And now, as we speak, the car is back. It has managed to secure the same parking space it had before. And now, either one or two people are just sitting there, keeping the headlights on for some reason. They've also done a bad parking job in general. Maybe they're waiting, but they don't have their four-way blinkers on. I'll keep you updated as the story unfolds. Also, there's high potential that they can see me in here staring because I have a light on me. And it's dark outside. And, you know, we're at ground level, so could be that they're just staring at me through the tinted windows. Kind of an ugly car, though, if I'm being honest. Not my favorite. Anyway. How long have I been streaming? Only half an hour. Not very long. Not very long at all. This is another test of endurance too. I'll see how long I can go. Because I think at this point it's really just about seeing how long it takes for me to get genuinely exhausted. And thankfully, streaming does sometimes make you a little bit exhausted, or like it just takes a certain amount of energy, you know, to do all this stuff and set everything up and keep things moving. So I don't expect I'll be on for a super long time, but maybe an hour at least we could do. Okay, hold on. The car is now trying to do a better job of parking. Okay, just moved like a foot or two. It says you hit the 900 subs. Congrats, 100 more to go. Oh, great. Oh, cool. Then apparently this is a 900 subscriber celebration stream that will immediately scare some people off. Like, what is this? What is this middle of the night streaming with orange light? Hilaire says he tried to start a revolution but didn't have enough pamphlets. Oh yeah, I forgot about that line. I haven't actually watched that movie for a while. Oh. The car drove away again. It's just gone. They just left again. Did I make them uncomfortable by staring at them for 10 minutes through a window in front of a microphone in the middle of the night? Possibly. Someone comes and says, gotta go, see ya, hope you sleep well. Thank you very much, I'm sure I will. I hope everyone gets enough sleep or has a nice start to their day. And happy birthday once again, very exciting. Have fun. Yeah, do something fun. Take it easy. That's the time to do it. Alright. Oh gosh, okay. Alright. What else can we do here? Well, yeah, I don't want to like start opening up a bunch of software or anything. I don't want to manage audio from a bunch of different sources or anything like that. Although I did get an actual GPU recently, my first one ever, so that was pretty exciting. So now hopefully I'll be able to run some kind of stuff on the computer while streaming without everything breaking down. So that's an exciting possibility. I have not tested that out yet. Hopefully soon, but not this minute. That's not what we're going to be doing this evening. Shahide says, got work next week, just in time for another heat wave. Oh no. Have the heat waves stopped at all? Like, apparently Japan's got a record-breaking heat wave thing going. Other places have massive heat waves going that seem to be worse than usual. And then out here in California too, like, it's not always just the heat, but the humidity. We're not super accustomed to having a bunch of humidity out here in Southern California. It's the desert. It tends to be pretty dry. but yeah, it's been like months and months where we've just had all this humidity. And that's yet another thing I think that makes it really hard to fall asleep, because it's just like sweating and there's no AC here and all that kind of stuff. Shady says, nope, global warming all the way. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the reality of it, but like, it seems faster. It feels like everything has been faster. Or getting worse faster than expected. And, yeah, I'm not super into it. Dublin, not duh. Dublin has a heat wave also. Oh, good. Why not? Why not just have heat waves everywhere all the time, like some kind of disaster movie? And everybody just has to put up with it and go about their normal business, acting like, oh yeah, this is the stuff. This is what I want to be doing. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Oh. Wonder if I can change the color temperature of my camera to match these like little lanterns we have in our tent footage here. We can try it at least. Let's try that out. Video, color adjustments. Hello. Hello, cat. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Oh. Oh. A little too blue or neutral. Oh. Oh. Way too orange. That's kind of close. Right? That's actually not too bad. Let's try contrast. Gene, no, why did you do that? Why is the cat trying to kick my iPad off of the desk? What is what? That stays there. Got your wine in there. You look at this though. Look behind my camera. Look, there's like, is that like beer? Like a non-branded beer of some kind and a Sprite. And why lanterns with open flames? That seems like a really bad idea for a tent. Possibly more cozy, but like not the best. Shady says, got anything from the summer Steam sale? Oh boy. Yeah, I did. I think I bought games from just about every summer game sale that there was. I got some stuff from the Switch sale. I don't know if Xbox really did one, so I didn't get anything there. I got some VR stuff in the VR sale. And yeah, I got a couple things from Steam. Just looking around real quick, what did I get? I got Necesse, Necesse, which is still in early access. It's kind of just a Terraria ripoff, but I really like Terraria, especially the early game. So I've been playing that. I got V Rising, which is that like multiplayer vampire survival game, which is all right. I just started that very recently. I got Have a Nice Death, which I made a video about, which is excellent. Another thing still in early access for some reason, but like really, really excellent game. It's really something to behold. Cruelty Squad. I also got Cruelty Squad. Those two were probably the most expensive, quote unquote, of the batch. But Cruelty Squad is just like, it has such a reputation, and I admire a lot about it. I have not been playing it like crazy yet. I'll get into it soon enough. Especially now with the GPU, it'll run okay. And I got Musedash, which is real cheap. It was like 50 cents or something. And it's decent. It's a decent little rhythm game, and that's kind of it. Did you grab anything, Shady? Also, I know you're heading to work, so please don't feel obligated to like stick around too much. But were you grabbing anything? I know pretty much everything was on sale, so a lot of opportunities there. I was thinking about getting Nier Automata once and for all, because it was on Game Pass for ages. I started it multiple times, never got close to finishing it, and now that they're announcing it for the Switch, I feel like they've been hesitant to put it on sale again, so I don't think that was even included in the Steam summer sale. Or maybe just Japanese games in general, they don't participate with that stuff as much. I don't know, maybe that's just a guess, a hunch, but it does kind of seem that way. Um, yeah, I wonder what angle. No, no, I don't want to move that. Sorry. Sorry for the jarring shift of the tent. I was going to say, like, where can I put my face cam where it looks the most natural for the tent? Do you think there's a way to do that? Maybe not with this aspect ratio. That looks weird. See, this looks strange. I don't want to do that. I guess that's better than anything, because this stuff here kind of almost sort of blends with the background. Anyway, I think that's everything I got in the sale. There was more stuff on my list, but like I already have big old backlogs of games on pretty much every system I have, so I didn't really want to contribute to that too much more. However, I have been like making room on the hard drive and stuff and trying to re-download some larger games that I never really finished or got that into. So, especially after putting in the GPU, which does have ray tracing. It's not the best card, but it does have ray tracing. So I re-downloaded Control Ultimate Edition from Steam, because that's obviously a massive ray tracing showcase. And yeah, like, it looks really good. It's very nice. And then I have Metal Gear Solid 5, which I've never really played. That could be fun. And then I think I'll also re-download one of the Tomb Raider reboot games, because I think some of those support ray tracing, and also they're just good-looking games in general. So that could be nice. Anyway, big old games, so you really have to make room for those. Tsunami says, "Whoa, hi." Well, hi to you as well, Tsunami. Yep, doing something weird this evening. Can we even call it evening at 2 a.m.? Anyway, thanks for coming back. It's good to see you. Shady says, I got AC Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and some weirder stuff like Wobble Dogs. Okay, and Death Trash. Oh yeah, Death Trash. Is that still in early access? I might actually look right now. Hold on. I know that got a decent amount of press from like the gaming YouTubers and such. Looks neat. I think it's pixel art, right? But just like really purposefully dense and kind of ugly stuff, right? What is this? No, I don't need ads right now, thank you. Also, I am supposed to be getting a Steam Deck. So hopefully I still have the money by the time it's time for me to actually pay for it. Okay. Death Trash demo. Oh, do I have that already? I might. Death Trash features a post-apocalyptic world where cosmic horrors long for humanity but meet punks with shotguns. Combines old-school role-playing, modern action gameplay, and player freedom. Create your own character and explore a handcrafted world. Overwhelmingly positive out of 2,200 reviews. Okay, so it hasn't necessarily been a big smash yet. It's also early access still. It does have the demo. Okay, yeah, so hints of like the early, like Fallout 1 and 2, where it was still, isometric viewpoint, right? But yeah, the art is pretty compelling. The name is excellent. So yeah, I should just do the demo, right? I should get, because I have no idea what the gameplay is actually like, and I don't think I'm going to watch the trailer right now because I don't want the audio getting in here. But that's cool. Yeah, no, it seems like you have a good taste in games to begin with. So, so it's neat. It's glad to hear that people have been picking up some good stuff. And I think it's also kind of nice to just have these like biannual major Steam sales, because then I don't feel as tempted to grab stuff in the other months in between the sales. I'm just like, it will go on sale eventually. Just let it alone. You don't need it right now. So it can be good for that kind of thing too, I think. But yeah, so I have plenty of more stuff to play, despite the fact that I haven't finished. I never finished Legends Arceus. I never finished Elden Ring. I did finish Kirby, more or less, so that's one game out of the way. Although I do like to replay it a lot. And yeah, just tons of other stuff in the backlog, so a good and bad thing to have more things, more games in the collection. It's just a question of when I'll actually devote the time toward them. And yeah, especially recently, I think I felt a little bit like guilty or guilty-ish to sink time into games where I was like, okay, how else could have I been, spending that time? Would have, just doing another hour of work per day really accelerate things for me? Should I feel bad about that? Is it better to relax and play some of the games? Is it bad to focus on games that aren't especially relaxing, because then what's the point of it? I've been locked in some of that stuff lately as well. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, a lot of game things happening. I am very interested in getting my Steam Deck hopefully sometime soon. But yeah, it's one of those things where kind of with any pre-order, it's like I really wish they could just charge the money when I pre-order the thing. Maybe some places do it like that. But even when I do that for games on Amazon or something, and it's like, oh, we'll ship it to you release day. Cool, very nice. But they wait to charge you until the day of release. I'm sure it's some kind of legal limitation or something like that. But I hate it, because especially if it's a larger amount of money, it's just floating out there. And you're like, okay, time to plan ahead for like months and months for this superfluous thing that I don't need. Better have the cash ready to go. So that's been the case with Steam Deck for so long. Then it had the delay. I was also pretty late in the pre-orders, so I am Q3 here. So sometime between now and September, I guess, it's just a pretty big window. That's when I'm supposed to be given the opportunity to actually pay the bunch of money to get the thing. So we'll see. But even if I end up wanting to sell the thing off, I have to get it. Like, I have to pay for it, because I'm sure I could sell it for a decent profit. But to do that, I got to fork over the money to Valve first. So, yeah. We shall see about that. Hopefully sometime soon. I think they're accelerating the pace at which they're shipping out the Steam Deck, so whatever. But yeah, there's been a lot of that. What else? Well, this was none of the sales or anything, but it's a game that was released somewhat recently. And it's Pocky and Rocky Reshrined that I got for the Switch. I actually ordered a physical copy that was supposedly going to show up like a couple days after release, and it only showed up today. It was released towards the end of June. I think it was June 23rd. And I only got it, well, July 7th, not July 8th. So it took way, way longer. And yeah, so the Pocky and Rocky games are kind of like, I guess we would call them like top-down shoot-em-ups, but not like a outer space sci-fi shoot-em-up. Like, you're just a character running around, and you have to, kind of a bullet hell situation, got to clear guys away. A traditional Japanese setting. Really cool art. That's probably one of the biggest things that attracted me to the game. It's been released in like Japan and Korea, maybe other parts of Asia as well, for a little while now, and it just had the Western release on, I think it was the 23rd. Anyway, heard a bunch of hype for this game. Well, not a bunch of hype, but from a niche community of people on YouTube, the gaming YouTube space. Digital Foundry was talking this game up a bunch. I think Nintendo Life had a really nice review of it that was like, yeah, this is just really solid. So pre-ordered it, only got it today, played it just a tiny little bit, and just said, wow, this is actually pretty difficult, and I wasn't immediately sucked in. So now I'm just looking at it like, okay, cool. That's that, I guess. I will get into it. It is really neat. Like I said, the art is lovely. and the gameplay is solid enough, but not familiar with the series, not super familiar with the style of game, honestly. Um, so that's been one that I don't think has benefited from how long I waited for it. However, I still have a certain amount of excitement for a couple games set to release fairly soon. One in August is Cult of the Lamb. That one's had a ton of marketing push behind it. We've all probably heard of it by now. I don't know whether or not that one will actually click with me, but just in terms of quality and production value, it looks really excellent. So there's that. I think it's August 10th or something. And then at the tail end of this month, there's Xenoblade 3, which I will not be getting, maybe eventually. I don't know. Not really my thing. But Bear and Breakfast finally is set to release the end of this month. And I'm very excited about that game. I love management games. Love the cozy games. I played the demo for Bear and Breakfast summer of last year, I guess. Really enjoyed it, and it's releasing for the Switch. If they make decent use of the touchscreen, I think that's a great platform for the game. So hopefully they're not charging an exorbitant amount for that one, because, yeah, I just really wanted to play it, despite the fact that I just bought all this other stuff. So that one. And I think there's one other thing. I think it's the end of August, so it's a good while from now. But Tinykin, which had a demo in Steam Next Fest, and it got talked about in one of the E3, not E3 showcases. But it's basically a Pikmin-style game, but tiny within like a human house. So, Honey, We Shrunk the Kids, or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. / It Takes Two, which is one of the best looking and most visually interesting games I've played probably ever. And the demo for Tinykin was really good. I'm not a big Pikmin guy, but it feels really good, excellent music, blah blah blah. So pretty excited about that one. I haven't seen a huge amount of excitement for it yet, but hopefully people catch on, because that was so cool. That was such a cool demo to try out. But anyway, kind of not for another couple months. Shady says, yeah, I worry about being unproductive playing games. There's some where I just listen to a podcast or stream or essay at the same time. Yeah, totally. And that's actually a topic that I've been trying to write about for a while, is something that I'm calling media mixing, where you're essentially consuming multiple pieces of disparate media simultaneously, and how that can create completely different effects. And it's something that I think a lot of us around this age just do kind of by second nature at this point, for very specific reasons. But I guess the other thing to mention there with this specific comment is just about the productivity thing. And like, I know it's so widespread, not just for people around my age, but just basically anyone I know. I think a lot of us have a tough time like actively relaxing, which is maybe a bit of a paradox, I guess, or a contradiction in terms, but you know what I mean. Like, have trouble when you feel like you're wasting time, especially for people who don't feel like they've, established some massive career or something yet. They haven't had all the success that they want to achieve ultimately. It can feel like, okay, yeah, basically all of my free time needs to go towards, pursuing that goal. Or like, oh, if I haven't done that, then I can only blame myself for not having that success, whatever. But I think that really quickly runs into like really big discussions about why we feel the need to stay productive, and sort of the consequences of feeling like you always have to be productive. And so I'm trying to, I'm trying to resolve that in some way, I think, just for myself, because on the one hand, I do genuinely want to be productive, even just the stuff that I do for the channel. Most of it boils down to being unpaid labor, right? Like, I make a tiny bit of money from Patreon each month, which is very nice and very much appreciated. But that's it. No advertising revenue, nothing else. And like, a lot of work goes into this stuff. Even the pretty simple videos are kind of a lot of work. And that's not a complaint, because I do enjoy feeling productive when I do that stuff. But at the same time, the idea that productivity is not like one-to-one tied to remuneration, and financial benefits, makes it really tricky, because then you kind of have to keep a sense of the intangible progress you're making and be like, okay, so this productivity I'm supposedly achieving all the time, is it actually helping me out? Is it actually helping me develop something? Is it going to pay off in a tangible way down the line? Is it paying off in the meantime in some sort of, I don't know, spiritual sense or sense of self-fulfillment, something like that? And then we have, other discussions, other political perspectives on the subject, and saying like, the sense of productivity, this feeling of obligation to be productive all the time, is ultimately harmful to social progress, right? Because, hi Kat, because it contributes to a system that's already unsustainable, and it's very unhealthy for a lot of people. Anyway, it's a very big topic, Shady says, I mean, why make art/media if you feel guilty consuming it yourself? This is an interesting question. I'm still trying to break it down in my mind. Why make art media if you feel guilty consuming it yourself? Yeah, if there's a feeling of guilt, I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if like because I did mention that earlier, the sense of like guilt, I guess, at the idea of wasting time. I don't know if it's specifically a guilt of like consuming media. I could definitely see a sense of guilt for instances of overconsumption of media, right? Like straight up binging or over binging, if that's even a term. That, I guess, for myself can lead to some kind of sense of guilt, or just like, oh, I could be spending my time in other ways. I feel like I'm avoiding something, procrastinating, etc. But yeah, I mean, I do think it's important to appreciate media, and in general, like I'm saying, I think all that rambling was eventually coming back around to, I personally am trying to say, you know what, you've put X amount of time into this thing per week, per day, whatever. You don't have to keep pushing it from there. Like, it is okay to try to relax. It is okay to just kind of try to enjoy your day. Just be the consumer of media for a while, right? Which I think is maybe what Shady was communicating with that comment there. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like for a lot of people who end up trying to make stuff, creative stuff in general, it comes from there almost all the time. Is it comes from that genuine love of other people's work. You see other great work in whatever area, and you just think, okay, I can't do exactly what they do, but I can do my thing, and I want to. Like, you want to offer that to people, even on the off chance that somebody will enjoy it, Anyway, very big discussions. Also, I've been reading a lot of like art criticism and theory stuff lately that's been very heavy, and I think I've been slow to process it all. So some of that is just kind of leaking into the whole discussion here. Anyway, Samuel Kim says, guess who's back? Well, hey, I'm gonna guess based on the username. Why, though? I mean, I'm very happy, but, like, I hope that you haven't also been having trouble sleeping. You said it was pretty early where you are, so... versus it being pretty late for me. Sort of a different situation, isn't it? Also, okay, I've been streaming for just over an hour. Okay, interesting. Well... yeah, I'm definitely not hopping off quite yet, but... I do feel like I'm starting to approach the point of Yeah, actually getting tired. So we'll see if that actually happens. Because I feel like I've wound up with a lot more energy than I expected to have at this point in the night. Football Lover says it's me. I'm back. See, it was a trick question the whole time. Also, it's time for me to get more water. Hold on, I'll just drop my face cam for a second and yell into the microphone. That's professional, right? Here. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Can you turn down this light? That's better. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, that's wrong. This is right. Okay. Anyway. Sorry, I turned down the light somewhere. It's like a very slow dimming of the lights, you know? Gets you ready for sleep or something like that. What was I gonna say? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I potentially have to be awake pretty early because apparently there's a building maintenance thing where they have to replace like the fire sprinklers, which like I appreciate that. I guess I want the fire control system sprinklers to be working well. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust a little bit. It's very hard to see anything in the camera here. Okay, here we go. That's fine, but yeah, they're like, it'll be sometime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. So, so in those situations, I'm like, well, of course it'll be whenever I need to go outside for something. Whenever I need to go do something else is exactly the time they're going to show up and be like, hey, we need to get into your apartment. And I can't just leave the door unlocked all day, right? That would be kind of crazy. What if someone takes all my stuff away? Or like, what if someone lets the cat out the door? That would be terrible. Could not handle that. That would be no good. So, we'll see. I might have to be awake in roughly 5-6 hours with people knocking on the door like, we have a new sprinkler for you. So we'll see how that goes. Outside of that, I think tomorrow is Friday. Yes, or rather today is Friday. It's been very confusing this week. It was a holiday week for us here in the States, so there's that. Shay says, gotta go now though. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much for stopping by the very weird nighttime stream. Well, at least nighttime for me. But I hope you have a very good day at work. Yeah, that's been a big thing too lately. It's just the work stuff has been very stressful, and to the point where I just like don't want to communicate with work people. Like it's just too much. I would much rather do the work itself than get involved in like the politics stuff and the trying to mediate conversations and deal with, damage control and stuff. So like, oh my gosh. Anytime I finish up with the workday, it's just like this massive massive moment of relief. Where I feel like I can be a person again. So excited that it'll be the last day I work for the week. And who knows, maybe over the weekend I'll get a great new job. And everything will change just like that. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just like trying to hunker down, work through all that stuff. What else have I been working on for the channel? Well, something that just went up literally a couple hours ago, and That's probably a reason why it was a bad time to do this stream now, because it might be cannibalizing or like blocking that video, people from seeing that video, unfortunately. But yeah, I just posted a video on Adventure Time Distant Lands very late, like what, at least like a full year after all of them aired, I think. And yeah, just shared some thoughts, overviews, some light analysis of the specific episodes in Distant Lands. And that was about it. I guess I also talked a little bit about just like my personal introduction to the show way back when, and my sort of shifting perspective of it and its like significance over time. But yeah, so that went up. That was something I've been working on for a couple days here. And what else was I doing? I mean, I have been talking a lot about animation lately. That's felt pretty good. It's been a while since I kind of focused on that. And I feel like there was something else I just watched. Well, I did watch Secret of Nim a couple weeks ago. And I was originally planning to do some kind of video on that, specifically just talking about like why I don't like it, and why it's okay to not like these really famous movies that have these incredible reputations and everything. Not sure of whether I'm going to go through with that or not, but beyond that, I'm sure that I have a couple other videos happening, but at the moment I just can't think of them for some reason. And why is the cat? Why are you sitting on my second keyboard? Is that like comfortable? I guess it could be kind of comfortable. I don't know. It'll come back to me at some point. But yeah, working on more videos. I feel like there are a couple other new animated movies. Oh yeah, I do want to make a video about an upcoming release from director, I think it's Masaki Yuasa, or at least that can be my terrible American pronunciation of his name, but he's a director that I quite like, and he has a new movie coming out that has US distribution through G-Kids, of course. So that's going to be in theaters, I think, later this month or in August. So I just wanted to make a quick video sort of letting people know about that and explain why it might be something worth paying attention to. So there's that. I want to talk about that. Also, pretty darn soon, I'll have to check the date here, but pretty darn soon, I'll just check on my phone. I don't know why I'm pulling up Chrome and everything. We seem to be pretty close to the release of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Let's see what release date it has. No, I didn't mean a book series from 1993. Okay, how about this? Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Release date is December 21, 2022? What? No. No. What? Everybody's saying that now. But I swear, I'm not losing my mind, because I'm pretty darn sure the original trailer said summer. Yes? Christmas? Has it always said Christmas? Is this like a Mandela effect thing? I thought it was coming out. Why did they release a trailer in March for a movie that's coming out in December? I could have sworn it was going to be this summer. Wow, now I'm disappointed. I'm so excited about that movie. And now I have to wait another, 5-6 months? What the heck? Wow. Sorry about that. I don't know. Someone can let me know if I'm crazy. Could have sworn that first trailer, I guess it wasn't a teaser, it was like a first full trailer. Pretty sure it said July. And if it got delayed to December from July, that is a significant delay for a big Hollywood movie. That is not common at all. Or I'm crazy and it always said Christmas. Anyway. regardless, I am excited about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That is a movie I would very much like to watch. Um, have high hopes for what that's going to deliver, specifically in terms of visuals. I do not have high expectations for the storytelling or the screenplay or anything. Um, but hopefully that's enough. Hopefully the visuals alone will be enough to really keep me interested there. Okay. All right, so it's coming up on like 2:30 a.m. here where I am. So I will probably call it quits unless somebody has something they would like to say real quick or something like that. I'll give it like a minute or two, but otherwise, yeah, I think it's been enough. I think it's been enough stream for the middle of the night. I think that I will sleep for a while and forget my troubles. That could be good. And yeah, hopefully just the soundscape of the stream alone has been pretty decent. No music this time around. We just got the rain sounds, this video that someone else posted. I wonder if I'll get copyright claimed for this. That could be interesting. But yeah, here's the cozy tent. This is the wonderful environment that we can all return to in times of busyness. Yep. And yep, as always, I will be working on more stuff for the channel. I'll post those things when they're done. And I'll stream again whenever I can, basically. As for Patreon people, if any of them happen to see this, I think I'm planning on doing a patron-only stream this weekend, if I can, which I guess is technically tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. We'll see if I have the energy. But yeah, over there we've been doing like fake radio shows almost, where we just listen to a bunch of music and hang out, because we can do that on unlisted streams and don't get the copyright stuff so much. So yeah, maybe some more of that soon. That's pretty fun. And I guess that's about it. So, as usual, thanks to everybody for showing up for the stream live. I honestly didn't expect anyone to show up at all. And thanks to anybody watching the archive version later on. Really appreciate that. And yeah, feel free to say hi in a future stream or a comment, and maybe I'll start looking at comments again at some point. But for now, I will just cut myself out here, and we'll close on some lovely rain noises. But that's all. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.